Welcome.
Welcome.
This is Warrior Commission Now, where we talk about practical ways for you to live your warrior commission now as you grow in your relationship with God. And so I love today's topic, which is epic adventures with God. Because that's part of our relationship with God. He gives us the option to have epic adventures with him. I'm Sharon Rudolph.
I'm Casten.
And we started having these conversations years ago about our favorite topic, which is God and the goodness of God. And so we enjoy having you join us in these conversations. So, Christine, what do you want people to know today about epic adventures with God?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of different directions we can go with that. We could title Epic Adventures with God over every single conversation we have that we're recording here. But this one today particularly has to do with the key to joy restored. As I've gone through seasons where things have been really hard, and sometimes the Lord will send someone with a prophetic voice and they'll say, "Hold on to your joy, just hold on to your joy." And you're like, how do you do that? It's like, yeah, that sounds great. Hold on to your joy. But joy's like this intangible thing. I mean, it's not like I can pick it up like I can, my drink and say, I'm holding on to my joy.
Yeah.
And so I started asking the Lord, okay, how do I do that? I mean, what is that key to seeing joy restored? And he went a completely different direction than I ever would have imagined, because he didn't talk about joy at all, which is, he does that, it's like, he actually started talking about innocence, and he started talking about a restoration to the childlike innocence that we carry as his sons and daughters, and what that looks like in our lives. So there was this huge revelation and shift in understanding that holding on to joy wasn't about holding on to this thing, because joy is a gift. It's a fruit of the Spirit that we carry. God gives us. He gives us that fruit. It's what is in us. He's already promised to pour it in us. So we have joy beyond all measure, but we sometimes disconnect from it. And so the way to stay connected, that key to keep that door open, if you will, is to choose to step into childlike innocence with him.
I love that. And it goes back to us being that much loved child. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who didn't ever feel that as a child.
Exactly.
Right? So now we come into relationship with Jesus and kingdom with God. And yes, we have this fruit of the Spirit that is joy. Mm-hmm. But if you don't really know what it is, or you haven't really had it, it takes a while even to be comfortable with it, because joy isn't happy.
Right.
Joy isn't necessarily happy.
Yeah. Happiness comes and goes. It's a constant emotion. Joy is constant in, a constant water table, if you will, that we
have. Yes. It comes from a deeper place of I know that I know that I know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then when you step into life from that place, things are different. And I personally think it's easier to be happy when you experience joy, especially the joy of the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how in this place, it really is about relationship with God. Mm-hmm. It's not just about us making sure we think right, or us making sure we do all the right things, right? Like we could ever do that. So it truly is about being willing to be a child, which is vulnerable, being willing to trust, which is also vulnerable.
Right.
And really allowing God to be God, being that good father. There's a song, a Christian song out about God being a good father. And when you listen to that song, the first time I heard it, I went, I love this song. And then I went, do I believe it?
A good question.
Do I believe it? And so that prompted a conversation with Holy Spirit. Okay, how do you want to help my unbelief? How do you want to help me trust God that he really is that?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the things that, as I've been thinking through this, I had the opportunity to, I don't live by the beach, but I happen to be able to be by the beach. And my first morning there, literally, you know, as I'm going to bed, I'm saying, okay, God, what do you want? What do you want to reveal to me in this time? You know, what are you wanting to open up before me? And of course, I went to bed and I didn't remember any dreams that I had, which is pretty typical. I have dreams at certain times of the year, kind of thing, but not every. Yeah, I don't remember them every night. And so I woke up to the squeals of children and the roar of the ocean, and it wasn't squeals like, you know, annoying squeals. It was this delighted joy, excitement of the adventure. You know, kids were playing in the waves, you know, who knows, that discovering shells, seeing the birds in the air, whatever. But it was just this beautiful picture of the joy of children in the delight of that epic adventure we call life with God. And in that place, he was talking to me about the choice that we have to see everything as new. You know, the experience, the reason children are so delighted is because everything is new and they've never experienced it before. And it's like, oh, look what this is. Oh, this is so amazing. Wow. I know, you know, the water's cold. It's foamy. It's moving back and forth. You know, the wind's blowing. Oh, I can, you know, play with a toy in it. I can, you know, there are all these things I can do with it. I can build sand castles. I can, you know, and it's like, there's this whole vast adventure of what's possible. And when we step into that place of choosing to embrace the exploration of what's possible, we're actually moving into that place of that childlike innocence again. And it takes a choice, because it's easy to hold on to, well, I know better than that, you know, or I know that the waves aren't magic and that, you know, that a sandcastle is probably going to get run over by a wave at high tide, you know, I mean, you know, and I'll have to rebuild it again. I mean, we can be cynical, or we can choose to say, but then I get to build a new type of sandcastle, and I get to try new things with it, you know, and maybe I can build it bigger, or maybe I can build it taller, or maybe I can bring more things to the beach with me tomorrow and actually have, you know, other things that I add to the castle, you know. So it's the possibilities, it's the discovery, it's the adventure. And Sharon, you are delightful at seeing that opportunity of that exploration. I would love for you to share some of the things that are ways that God has touched your heart to restore you to childlike innocence in your life with him.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's fun. That's so fun. I love, the Lord gave me 4 kids. I didn't ask for 4 kids. Wasn't sure I wanted to be a mom, but God gave me 4 kids, and I got to watch them. And my husband and I were very intentional about loving them well, and that God gives us kids, not for us, but for them and for him. And it's about their lives being what God intended it to be, right? And so as my husband and I navigated this thing that, you know,
we weren't manual, they don't come direction. You got to figure out what their personalities are, and they're all different. Yeah, I get it.
And so I love how God takes what we bring and makes something beautiful out of it. And I almost feel like life is this succession of me being the kid, bringing to him, look at the picture I made. And he loves it, and he frames it, and he puts it on his wall, and he makes it even more beautiful than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And that's how relationship with God goes. That in the exploration, let me try this out and see how it works. Even if it doesn't work, he makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
He helps. It's that Romans 8:28, which can become cliche, that God works all things together for good for those who love him. And when you bring things to God, he really does that.
Yeah, he does.
He's better than magic. And so my kids were little. We were very much into Disney. I was having a conversation with God because of the wonder of it all and the magic. And God, how do we deal with the magic? And anyway, and he said, daughter, I'm better than Disney.
Yeah.
I'm better than Disney. And he started to help me see things that the world could call magic. And 300 years ago, they might have called magic. We have the internet. Come on. And I can talk to my mom face to face in another state.
Yeah.
What a blessing. What an adventure.
Yeah.
Even to make the technology work. But when you walk through it, you get to experience things that we didn't believe possible. And he does that in the practical everyday. He does that in the impossible. Oh gosh, I've lost my job. Well, what if God has a better job for you?
Exactly.
And he created space for you to go find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does that kind of stuff.
He does. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and in that, he restores the what possible. And it has changed how I look at life when things happen, because it's about, okay, God, you want to give me something better.
Right.
You want me to see something good in this. And then we laugh. And then, you know, it's taking a rainy day and making mud pies instead of sitting back saying, oh, now I can't X. Well, no, but now I get to make mud pies or plant seeds in my garden or whatever. Yeah. It's, and in that shift of perspective, joy just shows up. Mm-hmm. Joy just shows up.
That's so true. And that's really, I mean, that's one of the things that we see in the Warrior Commission over and over and over again.
Yes.
As people start to understand how to position themselves, how to make the choice to say, okay, God, show me how you're seeing this. You know, show me how you're looking at this. And we get the tools, you know, to be able to do that. We see so much joy in our community. You know, the calls, the things that people share, how God is moving, what he's doing, what they're discovering, you know, that you see that joy and that childlike innocence. That doesn't mean that things aren't hard, you know, for different people at different times. We all have difficult seasons that we go through, but we do see a way to stand differently in that place, and how to truly capture the joy that's there, to hold on to that joy, because we are able to stand in a place where we position ourselves in hope and in like understanding that this is an epic adventure with God, and there's something far beyond this moment that God's doing and preparing us for, that will take us into a whole new place of exploration and joy and discovery. And that to me is one of the unique parts of our culture that I don't see in a lot of other places. As I travel, as I talk to people, I don't see that often in other cultures. And it's so there, you know, it's so available. So there is a way to capture that innocence, and there is a way to say yes to God's restoration to us, to that innocence and to that joy that we have, that he always has on hand for us. Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So I think this could be a good place for us to finish up today. So I want to thank all of you guys for joining, for listening in. If you want to check out the Warrior Commission, the information about our website is in the text below this post, below this video. It is thewarriorcommission.com. Come check us out. And we have a blog actually on this, don't we, Christine?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's under resources. And and look for blogs under that. And currently, if you're getting this now, it's one of the first ones, but depending on when you see this video, you may have to scroll through. But that's
awesome.
What it is right now.
Yeah. So thank you. We look forward for you joining us again. Have an amazing day.
Bye.